All right, guys, welcome to the Buff Show. Today we got a market update coming your way. This is for July. Today is August 15th, and we're going to cover July's numbers.
Remember, we lag 1 month on these, so it's everything. We're looking back a month. So
Yeah, but some good stuff's happening. It's not very stagnant anymore.
no, it's starting to move. It's different. I find it kind of weird and interesting.
Yeah,
Just looking at like our monthly indicators, like a lot of bad indicators, I would say, are up,
yeah.
but our prices are moving up.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, that's good or bad depending on what side you're on. But
Let's talk about some recent news and things that have happened. Jobs report came back worse than everybody expected. Stock market dropped.
Yeah,
And then rates have pulled back. Mortgage rates have pulled back, right? And the Fed's saying that they're planning on doing some mortgage cut or some rate cuts in September. So, anyways, there's a lot of things up in the air, but rates are actually pretty favorable. Like I think we're at almost a 52-week low or close to. Would you say?
yes. And then we were just looking at a paper this morning, and the 30-year average right now, we're at it. We're pretty well sitting there, a point or two off. But if you think about that, for the last 30 years, we're at where
A 30-year average. Yeah, 6.5.
But everyone has this mindset because of what we've seen in the recent past that stuff's crazy and interest rates are insane and
Yeah. So, did you have anything on the front that you had marked that you want to talk about?
I was just looking. We're going to get into it, but so I'm just going to read you this little snippet. So prices have moved higher as median sales are up 3.8% to 508,000. Days on market have increased 4.4%. Month supply of inventory was up to 3.9 months.
Oh, wait. How much? How much was it?
Oh, yeah, 3.9. So keep that number in mind. 3.9, not 4.
Oh.
Indicating that a supply has increased relative to demand. So all that stuff's pointing to me saying, oh, hey, the market is stagnant last month and it wasn't really moving and it's just slow grinding.
Yeah.
But what's weird is a median sales price goes up, right?
Dude, it is so strange because like you have this supply and inventory or supply and demand curve, teeter-totter, and we just keep getting more supply, but prices, like the demand is there and kind of eating it up. But we're starting to see like month supply of inventory is up 14%, 14.7%. I mean 15% almost, which is crazy, but it's a strange market.
I think, and here's my weird prediction. I'm going to give you right at the start this time.
Yeah.
Median sales prices are going up because I think there's just pressure at the gate. Like,
yeah.
We're constantly being told, "Oh, cuts are coming, time's coming."
Yeah.
And I think we're just slowly bleeding into the market now. People are giving up on it's coming,
right?
And it's just here. Let's do it. So,
I mean, there's a lot of pent up demand that
just waiting. To pop.
Waiting.
Yeah. I'm excited, nervous for.
So one thing I want to give that's not in this report. So I pulled a report showing the active homes on the market today, August 15th. 2024 compared to August 15th, 2023. So on August 15th, 2023, there was 8,658 homes active on the market that day. Today, there's 10,777. So we're up 24.47%, almost 25% more homes active on the market today than a year ago, which is crazy.
3,000 homes across the state of Utah more available.
Yeah. It's bizarre. Anyways, let's jump into this. So,
okay. Well, I'll start it off on that same count. Basically, the new listings year to date, we're up 10% over from last month or last July to this July. We're up 10% overall for the month. Last year, we had 4,763 houses for sale in Utah, and this year in July, we have 5,271. So that inventory goes up. You'd think other stuff would change. It's just kind of a weird time in the market.
Yeah, and this is a count of the properties that have newly been listed on the market in a given month.
Yeah, these are new listings, not active, on the market listings.
Yeah.
So.
And then I'm going to jump over into pending sales.
Yep.
So a count of the properties on which offers have been accepted in a given month. In 2023, there was 3,385. In 2024, we're down to 3,265. So we're down 3.5%. Not much.
Which, yeah, isn't huge. That's the weird indicator with the more houses, the sales are
Yeah, that is
almost flatlined.
Yeah. But I mean, if we have more inventory, less pending sales, I mean, that's just going to push our month supply and our inventory higher because
Every time.
there's more listings coming out and there's less going under. I mean, slightly less, but
Let me ask you this. I feel right now that I'm seeing and even had a couple more contracts and more deals that you're getting to that middle stake and either financing isn't working out or there's something that's changing, or I'm having a lot more deals shift mid-deal than I've ever seen before. You seeing the same thing, or you?
about the same that I've seen. Like I tell clients, like I probably see about 30% of deals fall through or
For
get
whatever
weird.
reason.
Yeah, whether
Yeah.
it's due diligence or inspection or whatever. About, I mean, maybe 25, 30%.
I wonder if
One
that's
in every four.
a matrix, a metric we could actually track.
We probably
Sales
could,
that
yeah.
went under contract but have fallen out.
But have fallen through.
Yeah.
We actually could.
Could we
'Cause
do that?
yeah. I'll have to see how many we've had that have went under and fallen through for
A
one
given
reason
month
or
or-
another.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to do closed sales. The count of actual sales that have closed. Well, I guess we could compare these two that have closed in a given month. So, closed sales are actually up 6% from
That's weird.
last July to this July. 3,668 this year, 3,435 last year. So, still not. I mean, a lot, but that's weird how we have less pendings but more actual closed. So.
July is a weird month though, because if you're thinking about the closed sales, those are properties that went under contract June, maybe
Even before.
maybe May.
Well, I have one right now where we were 75 days in escrow.
Yeah.
Close tomorrow.
And
So
and July is a hard month for properties to go pending everybody's on vacation.
people are doing stuff.
Like July is actually not a great month to be a seller because it seems like there's just a lot less showings. Everybody's busy.
Right.
Like we did a few open houses. Some were a bust. Like it's a weird month. Everybody's busy. I asked title companies like, what's their busier or what's the slowest months? And they say July and December. Some of them that I asked. So, okay, days on market until sell. This is a metric that I'm so grateful for that they track this because it's just nice to have. It gives sellers a good expectation on what to expect when they list because so many sellers, and I have a lot right now, are going to market and after 7, 14, 21 days, they're like, what's wrong with my house? Where's all the offers? Yeah. Like people aren't even lowballing me. What's going on?
That is I've heard that more this year that people are mad. They're not even getting lowballed.
Right?
Like
please.
Yeah, someone insult me, please.
Yeah. So in 2023, average days on market was 45 days. We're up to 47 days. So we're up 4.4%. So we're kind of increasing up. And that's just due to inventory. Things are just moving a little bit slower. So on average, if you list your house, it's going to take you 47 days until you get under contract. And then you have the contract to execute, which could be another 30 to 60 days. So you just have to have the right mindset in mind. And I actually have my house listed right now, and it's maybe been 2 weeks, and I feel it. Like,
you want me to send you a lowball offer?
Yeah, right. Can somebody just what's going on?
Yeah.
But I tell people all the time, like, just hang in there. And here's a story for you. We had a property, had been listed over 30 days, and sellers were kind of in a crunch time because they're trying to buy a property, and they're just like, Peyton, where's the offers? What are we doing? We did a price drop, and then out of nowhere, it was like a week and a half after the price drop that we did, 2 buyers out of nowhere show up, and now they're competing. And we put it under contract, and now we might even have a 3rd buyer. Like, it's just interesting how it all happens. And years ago, like it's probably been 5 years, 6 years ago, I had a high-end listing, and they had been trying to sell this house for like 5 years, a long time. Multiple agents. I was like the 3rd or 4th agent, and we'd been trying like a year or 2 myself trying to sell it. And then out of nowhere, 2 buyers show up and they're bidding. I'm like,
It's just timing.
It's just how it seems like that's how it always goes. Whether you're a buyer or seller, it's great if you're a seller, but if you're a buyer, you're just like,
Well,
how are we competing with another buyer at this time? You know?
I tell all of my sellers, in order to be the best, strongest seller on the market, patience and time. If you have time on your side, you become way more powerful on the sell.
Yeah.
And vice versa for what the buyer being prepared.
Yeah.
You being quick on time, short, fast, strong, prepared.
Mm-hmm.
That time is huge on both sides. Quick with the buyer, it's patience and actual time you can wait.
Well, it's a psychology game because if you're the seller and you really need the property to sell, and if you show too much of your excitement or enthusiasm or like need,
showed your poker cards,
you're in trouble. But if you're a buyer and you show too much interest,
like I got $1 million in the bank and I want it no matter what.
It's funny because if I talk to an agent and if they say certain things on whether on either side, I'm like, I understand. I understand.
Yep.
And then we can play the game accordingly. So you just have to be careful on what you disclose. But
especially as an agent,
yeah. As a seller though, just remember like patience. Like I think people forget that you will have buyers fall in love with your house. There's a buyer for every house out there, just like you fell in love with the house. And they're gonna really want it. And if they really want it, they'll pay, what you want for it in most cases, right?
And I think that's the biggest conversation you have when you're having a listing appointment is, what is your timeline?
Yeah.
Like, not what do you want, like what is your real timeline to your end money goal?
Yeah.
So
because I think too many people they want to get the highest amount possible, but as fast as possible. Well, and those two don't go together.
No, I hate it because I love cake, but you can't have your cake and eat it too, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But I've used that analogy over and over again because even on buyers, well, I want a nicer house, but I don't want to spend more money, and I don't want to fix anything up. And so it's like,
Yeah, sorry, tough call.
Yep. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Okay, this is the one, the median sales price. Basically, this is the one where you take all the sales in Utah and we start at each end and whack them off till we get to the middle. So July of 2023, we were at 489,900. July of 2024, we're at 508,700. So a 3.8% rise in the average price. Now that seems small when you say 3.8, but when you're talking in the hundreds of thousands, that's $3,800 for every 100,000. So you times that by five, you're about 15 grand more on average, which is huge.
Yeah.
If you paid 15 grand less for a house or you got 15 grand more for the sale of your house, like those are big swings.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good number.
But why it's rising, I don't know. Is it
I think we dipped. We're still below the peak of 2020, like spring of 2022, where we were like almost mid 500s. But that's due to interest rates. Interest rates have made things so much less affordable. But I think remembering that peak is
crazy.
Is good to remember because if interest rates come down, you will be paying more for a house.
Like when we talk about the crazy times and people overpaying, we're really not that far off.
Right.
Which is surprising.
Well, and what's overpaying?
I
mean that was the last peak and we're still like 40 grand under it. But like that peak could come again. Like it's funny. The housing market is starting to look a lot more like the crypto market. Just boom, 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 boom.
Says the guy he has like 800 Bitcoin or something like that. I don't know.
I wish. Okay, average sales price. It's interesting comparing the two. So this is where you take all the sales, add them up, divide it by the input number, and that gives you kind of the average. And we are seeing in July of 2023, you were $607,000. In 2024, you were $654,000. So we're up 7.8%, which is a huge jump. I mean, that's big. And then this is a lot, like we're way closer on average to the peak of 2022 than on the median sales price.
All but there. And I think the hard part with that is the average takes into account a lot of high-end homes.
And low.
And low. But usually what type of home isn't affected by the interest rate.
Yeah.
Or
the higher end.
Yeah, your higher end, your money's a little bit different
Yeah.
up there. They're not dictated as much by that rate. So I think that's why you're seeing more of those.
Yeah.
And that's why that average is spread a little bit more.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that the median sales price in Utah is about 500,000 for July, and the average is 150,000 higher.
Mm-hmm.
That's bizarre.
It's just there's that big of swings from top to bottom, I think.
Yeah, crazy. This is also a good metric to know, percentage of original list price received. So if you're a seller, what's the average price you're getting of your original list price? How much are buyers able to negotiate on average off of the asking price? In 2022, you were above the average. Sellers were getting on average more than asking on their list price, which is crazy to think. Across all the transactions and everything happening, on average, sellers were getting above asking. So we're talking in a matter of like 2 years, we go from like crazy above, like 10, 15 offers, like nuts, to now we have tons of inventory and sellers are starting to drop prices. And so today, in July of 2024, sellers are getting on average 97.3%. And in 2023, it was 97.2%. So we're only 0.1% off. But still, you're roughly 3% off on
concessions.
And that's not including concessions. That's not including.
Oh yeah, that is not including concessions.
That's just off the asking price. And I would say more homes, if we were to add in concessions, which is the seller's paying for the buyer's closing costs or buying down the
rate buy down.
Yeah, I would say a lot of homes have that. Like we have a listing under contract right now where we're giving the buyers $15,000 in seller paid concessions. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't factor into this chart. So actually, sellers are like, that's just hard money off of the asking price.
Off the top.
Yeah.
My last 3 buyer deals.
Yeah.
We've gotten $15,000 or more back in seller paid closings.
So what are you using that for?
So the biggest thing is people want to keep cash in their pocket, right? So
Yeah.
when they have to pay a lender, that comes out of the buyer's pocket. That's part of their closing cost.
Yeah.
People don't think about it as cash, but that's money you have to come up with.
Yeah.
There's certain programs that'll allow you to wrap that into the loan.
Yeah.
But they want to keep their cash to fix the house and do their stuff because they don't want to have the seller fix the house because they won't care and do it right. And
yeah.
so the biggest thing is that, and then when you get those bigger ones like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that's great to cover loan costs. But when you're getting $15,000, we're covering loan costs, and then we're buying rates down permanently for like the one we have right now. We got it bought down to a 5.6% interest.
Wow,
which is huge.
Yeah, that helps their payment a ton. Yeah.
I mean that helped. Getting that extra $5,000 made their DTI what it needed to be with the payment.
And I'm not a huge fan of buying down the interest rates if you can afford it, but some buyers, you have to buy down the interest rate in order to buy the house.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're fighting.
Yeah. So.
And, different ways to use it. I mean, you can schedule it and use it in 900 different ways.
Right.
So you really want to talk with your lender once you have that amount.
Yeah.
And even before you start that negotiation, talk with your lender. Hey, how much do we need to cover this? Or give us some options and we'll try to get X amount.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because you have your down payment and then closing costs.
Yep.
So, and they're pretty high right now just because of interest rates.
And I think you're going to start seeing some buyers having to eat a little more of the real estate commission too, with negotiations being tough on the seller side. The new lawsuit, and we'll have a whole nother podcast, or we do have one on it.
Yeah, we have one on that. But
that's going to be a huge thing because you can use that as far as that too to pay commissions or other loan or transaction costs.
Yeah, so sellers can still pay buyer agent commissions, and maybe we clear it up briefly here. Starting yesterday in Utah, the buyer agent commission was removed off of the MLS, and so
and that means we don't see it on the MLS. It's not removed from
being able to be offered.
Being used,
yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of funny because a lot of people are like, so buyer agents don't get paid now. And it's like, no, sellers can still offer 3% or X amount of percent or whatever they want to a buyer's agent. It's just not visibly public online. And so we now have to call and say, what's the commission being offered here and
negotiate that in for our buyers.
exactly. Yep. So we're going to jump to the next one, Housing Affordability Index. So this measures how affordable housing is for the region. It takes the median household income and the median price home under prevailing interest rates. So the higher the number means the greater the affordability. And in July of 2023, we were 76. In July of 2024, we're 74. So we're less affordable last year. We're not the lowest affordability we've seen. I'd say the lowest was probably in October of 2023 where we were a 71, but we're pretty dang unaffordable because you look back on the graph and like back in 2009 to 2013-ish, it was pretty dang awesome.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. You could it was affordable. Houses were affordable, and now it's just I don't think house prices, I don't think wages have kept up with the median price home and the interest rates.
Well, and I think it's a lot of everything too. I mean, you look at median income and you look at the house price and you say affordable, not affordable, but there's so many other things: school, healthcare, groceries, gas, all that other crap that's
groceries is sad
that you've got right now. That you've got to be an adult about. It's just gross. All right, inventory for homes for sale. I should have had you do this one. Oh no, that's
the next one.
So this is the number of properties available for sale in an active status at the end of given month. So this is what we're kind of talking about at the start. This is any home that's either been listed this month or months prior that has not gone under contract.
That's inactive, yeah.
That's an active status. So July 2023 of the prior year of 2023 is, wow. July 2023, we had 10,941 homes. July 2024, we have 12,867 homes, a 17.6% increase. I mean, that's a few thousand homes, almost 2,000 homes.
Yeah.
More.
So, like I did the daily snapshot, and we're 15 days into August, and we're up almost 24%. So, like my bet for August is we're going to see this number increase even more. Probably be pushing 20 to 25% would be my guess. I'm not betting on it.
I was just about to say I was getting ready, getting my numbers out, going where do I put the spread? You know,
Ben was getting ready to write a bet because 2 months ago, we did a bet on the month's supply of inventory. So it was in May. I made the bet that month's supply of inventory would be over 4, and we were at 3.4. And in June of 2024, it was 3.7, and in July of 2024, we're 3.9. So we still haven't hit it, but I bet you next month we're in 4s.
Next month, you think we're going to be in 4s?
Yeah.
In the 4%?
Oh, 100%. Because look at our daily snapshot for today. We're up almost 7%.
How many closings are we going to have in August, Peyton? How do you know we don't flatline again for 1 month? It happens. See,
it does happen.
2.9.
It does happen.
I'll take that bet.
All right.
Sushi?
Yeah, let's do it.
Wives included, so we can have a date night.
All right.
Okay.
So
you've heard it.
Last year we were 3.4 months supply of inventory. So this is basically the inventory of homes for sale at the end of a given month divided by the average monthly pending sales from the last 12 months. So we kind of look at this like anything less than a six month supply of inventory is considered a seller's market
still.
And anything over 6 months supply is considered a buyer's market.
So that 3.9 months, meaning if we stopped letting any new houses come on the market, from the past data, it'll take us 3.9 months to sell everything
to run out.
Utah has to run out. So that's where that 3.9 months is coming from.
Which is crazy because in 2020 to 2022, we were sub 2 months. Like things were moving so fast. And so we have double the month supply of inventory in 2 years, which is nuts.
You look back at the 08 crash, and stuff like that, and we were kissing over a year of inventory.
Yeah, 12 months. Yeah.
And that lasted right up to about 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
When you really started watching it decrease and people getting active again.
There was a good 4 or 5 year spread there where it was
ramping up.
Yeah. And that is That's all we got. Yeah.
Yep.
So, good synopsis of the market. I have a lot of listings right now, a lot of counseling calls with sellers, because quite a few of our sellers, they're in situations where they're either relocating, they're trying to buy another house. Like it's a challenging time. It's stressful when you're trying to sell and plan, but you don't. It's like you're trying to. I tell people this all the time. You're trying to piece together this puzzle, but you don't have all the pieces yet, and you just don't know. So, and as humans, we don't like the unknown. But it's a game of patience, because you can always quickly drop the price and sure get it sold, but how much money do you leave on the table?
Sure.
Right?
Well, and like you said, it's a counseling session. You're seeing the reason people are selling right now. They're not trying to make investment jumps and gains, and they're eating their equity and doing that stuff. They're moving because of death and divorce and a job change.
Yeah.
You know, those forcing factors, which all of those ones that have a forcing factor usually have a time frame, which is bad if you're a seller. Not bad, but makes it harder.
Makes it harder.
And it's more stressful. And
well, and like I mentioned earlier, like we put our house up for sale, and I just want to speak to that a little bit, because I think there's so many people that
there's the plug for Peyton's house, you guys. It's in Eden.
that want to move. Like so we're like, yeah, we would like to move. We'd like something on more acreage. We don't know exactly what property, where it's at, what it's going to be. There's a few I have my eyes on, but like I can't really put together the contract and do it all backwards. Like I have to figure out this piece of the puzzle first, and figure out if my house is going to sell, because most sellers do not want to carry a contract subject to a buyer's house selling. And if you can get that, great. By all means, get it. But for the most part, you got to figure out your house selling first, and then you can piece together the other pieces. So we put our house up for sale. We're actively showing it. I think average days on market for Eden and the Valley is like 80 or 90 days.
Yeah, it's quite a bit higher.
And I'm aware of that. And it's still me being the professional, and in this, like there are days that I'm like, should we drop the price? Should we like, why do we not have more showings? And it's a stressful time, but you just kind of have to be like, hey, we're just going to see where it goes.
See, and I'm going to disagree, because that's what we do.
Let's hear it.
Different opinions. You don't want to reverse engineer it, and I get that, and you say get it if you can, but I almost think that it helps a sell process a little bit and a buy process. And mind you, there's a lot of intricacies in this.
Yeah.
If you can get something under contract with decent timelines, with your contingency, and right now I'm seeing more contingencies than ever, because it's a hard time to sell and buy. But you get someone under contract, and they already saw what you have up on the market already. They want to help you get aggressive. So like one in Morgan we just had. Hey, we really want to get our freaking house sold to you. Get your freaking house sold. We were under contract. We got beat up. We looked at them and said, hey, we're getting beat up. Why don't you help us
get beat up too?
Yeah, help us, help you, help us. Right?
Yeah.
It was like, let's all eat this to get it all done, to get this guy in, to get these guys over, to get these guys out. And
yeah, because you had like a train. It was like 2 or 3 deep, right?
It was 4 deep.
4 deep.
4 deep.
Yeah.
So I see both ways, but I would say, if you can reverse engineer it, do it, because it just gives you another lifeline here or there, pressures. And
I agree. The reverse engineering, meaning you find the house that you want to go to first. Where I get concerned is I have people that find that house first, and then they lose all sense of reason or rationale with their house.
Correct.
Because they have their dream house on the line,
Yep.
and that's all they can picture. And so then they're not patient. They're not in a position to wait. And then they're we got to drop the price $50,000. We got, like, why isn't this sold? And it's just like, it just takes time. Like, it might not be a pricing issue. It's just a time issue. Like,
a person issue. A buyer inventory.
Yeah. And and sometimes, like, maybe for you to get into that house, it's okay dropping the price more than you might have needed to in order to get into that other house. Maybe that's okay, but that's only a call that you can make, right? We can't make that call for you.
That goes back to that first conversation. What's your time frame to your goal?
Yeah.
You know, if your goal is this and that's your rock bottom,
Yeah.
your time frame is going to have to be more stringent. If your time frame's what's more important to you,
Yeah.
then we have the conversation. Okay, where can your rock bottom price be?
Yeah.
So
When this goes back, you have to have the right team in place too, that understands the situation and is willing to do everything that they can do to get your house sold. We're doing so many open houses right now. I'm doing 3 this weekend, and I'm about sick of open houses, but they work. And the reason why I feel like they work, which we're going to cover in another podcast today, but it's like a price drop or a new listing. Like it's bumping that house up on the MLS. It's showing activity. Zillow or Realtor.com sees it and they're like, ooh, there's something that we can market and show and show to buyers.
And they blast emails out to everybody that's looked in that area.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, open houses this week. Just a heads up. You know?
Yeah. So, and in fact, our house in North Ogden that we got multiple offers on, we got multiple offers from an open house. So you got to have the right team in place. We do calls with our sellers every week. Here's what's sold. Here's what's happening in the neighborhood. Rates are doing this. How are you feeling? Do you want to do an open house? What needs to be done? Just helping them through that mental process as well. I have a client that's relocating out of the state right now, and it's stressful, right? Like they're like, should we rent? Should we buy? Should we take money out of different accounts? Like, how should we piece this together? And so we're playing all these scenarios, making it work. Other clients that are relocating to another state, and we're working with the agent there. Their house had to be under contract by a certain date here. Like, there's so many parts of this that I think most people don't realize when it comes to selling your house. And a lot of it is just like
communication
and just having the faith that it will happen. And giving yourself time, right?
Time is key.
Yeah. Give us time, and we can make a lot of things happen with that. And being aware of on average right now, what's the days on market again for the state? 47 days on market. And like in Morgan County, do you want to talk to Morgan County?
Yeah. See, here's Morgan County. Morgan's weird and hard, and like we look at these metrics, and it's just such a small sample size in Morgan. So, like new listings from 2023 was 19 in July, or 15 in 2024. You know, that's a huge county in Utah.
Yeah.
But pending sales were 14 and 14 started across the board. Closed sales 9 and 9 started across the board. Median sales price has dropped almost $100,000, right? But on such a small thing, we have one subdivision that has sold a lot because they're one of the only developments. So Morgan's hard. What I'm going to implore and use as a plug for me is call me. I know Morgan.
Yeah.
I live there. I eat, breathe, sleep. Something weird happens or a listing comes on or goes off, I'm drinking coffee with someone that's going to give me the inside scoop on it, that morning. So
yeah. Well, and sometimes in Morgan, like I was comping out a really high-end property in Morgan like yesterday. And I was like, dude, we're looking all across northern Utah. And I'm like, this is a unicorn property, so we're going to be using unicorn metrics. But nice thing about those, too, is when you don't have a lot of data, you can kind of create your own data. Well, and as long as you can paint a picture that buyers and appraisers and everybody can believe, you can set the new benchmark in the new market.
100%. Well, and the biggest thing I've seen is you have got to watch. We talk about that weekly touch with your sellers.
Yeah.
You have got to watch your local, like if you have a house down the street that's identical and they just did $100,000 price drop.
Yeah, you got to be aware.
I need to be concerned. If I just watched that house go 37 multiple offers and we're still sitting, what's happening? What's different? And you need an agent that can do that and know that.
Yeah.
If someone's not talking to you or someone that's listed your home isn't watching your market, that you got to be on them. So
yeah, I don't have the stats for Ogden Valley, but it's a lot higher. We have a lot more inventory, and it's just changing.
Mainly because people don't want to sell in Morgan because it's better.
Yeah, that's got to be it. All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of our July market update. And if you guys have any questions, reach out to us. If you're trying to get out of your house by December, now's the time to be thinking about this.
47 days until you start like a 30-day minimum tiner.
I mean, but if you're in Morgan, what's the average days on market in Morgan right now? 67 days.
67 days. So yeah, you're 2.5 months, 2 months to get an offer.
And we're a couple weeks to get a house listed if you really want it to be done right.
Yeah,
like
if you want somebody to put actual effort into your home.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, and a vacant home's a little bit easier, but if you're living there, I mean, we want to check to make sure you're ready. Then we need at least a week to make sure we can stage photos. And it is slowly picking up. So we've got a schedule with a bunch of people, and it used to be everyone was so slow that we could get them next day.
Oh, I'm like, our staging trailer is empty because we have so much furniture out. Like, I'm buying stuff and putting it into houses. So it's a good time, but yeah, just be aware that if you're trying to get out by end of the year, you better get moving.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, till the next episode. Thanks, guys.
See you later.